right, good afternoon. Yeah, good to be back. After a bye week, obviously last week was good for us in getting healthy, resting. I think more than anything, the rest, obviously physically, but also mentally, really helps. You know, we gave our guys off Friday and Saturday of last week, told them to get away. You know, have a renewed spirit when you get back here on Sunday, and that's what happened. I mean, we had a good practice on Sunday, and now we're ready to go out here today with a good practice. It was also good health-wise. I mean, if we're able to get some guys that were dinged up, get them back, they felt good Sunday as well. So, you know, for this time of the year, I think we're sitting in pretty good shape, you know, as far as staying healthy. So, obviously excited this week, West Virginia. We're playing back at Nippert, man. We're excited about that. Got a sellout game. You know, it'll be a hostile crowd, great environment for us. So obviously our players and staff is excited about that, to get back here and playing in front of our home crowd. And, you know, against a team, a West Virginia team that I think is a very, very solid team. They've lost 4 games against 4 really good football teams. And, you know, and I think they're coming off a big win at Arizona. We know how hard it is to travel out west, and they went out there and handle business. So we know we'll get their best shot when they come in here. I've faced Coach Brown many times at Troy, and obviously last year got a lot of respect for him and how he runs his program. And, you know, so, yeah, we know we're excited about it. We played arguably our worst game last year at West Virginia. I mean, it was awful. You go back, and I hate watching that film from this week from last year. So an opportunity to go back and hopefully go out and play a much better football game this week. So we're excited about that.
Do you sit down on Saturday night and watch this conference and just shake your head at how insanely close, I guess, everything is?
Very close. You know, we have, you know, it's parity in college football, but I think we have the most parity in Power 4 football across the country. And, you know, no matter what the spreads are, I mean, you go look at the games, I feel like there are battles each and every week. And, yeah, I watched those games. I was flipping back and forth. And, you know, Central Florida, you know, woke up offensively, scored a ton of points again. And, you know, the other games were very close. Houston, big win. You know, Texas Tech with a big win. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think fans of Big 12 football, man, you know you're going to get to watch a great game whenever you go out and play and watch the Big 12. And the matchups, I mean, there's good coaches, there's good players. It's good football. And, you know, but it makes it hard. It makes it hard for us each and every week to go out here and battle and try to get wins. So that makes it difficult. There's not any easy games, I can tell you that.
Is it a monkey wrench to prepare for the lefty quarterback, and then also if you can update Luke Kandra and any offensive line things going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think offensive line-wise, we feel like we're in pretty good shape. You know, we'll know more on Kandra as we get out there today, tomorrow. But I feel like we're trending in the right direction with him, as well as Gerhardt, who was dinged a little bit, but he's back. He was back Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're back to about full strength across the board, and which would be helpful. And, you know, as far as talking about their quarterbacks, I mean, I think they're both really good. You know, one's right-handed, one's left-handed. I don't think that really matters other than maybe, a couple plays throughout a game. But I think they're both really good football players. You know, we'll see, who we're going to play. I mean, we anticipate playing the quarterback that played last week. So, you know, obviously we've had this happen before throughout the season with different quarterbacks that have had to play, but I still feel like, they're going to run what they run on offense. And, we got to be great at stopping the run this week. We know that they have some outstanding running backs. Their offensive line is really good. And Neil does a great job of running the football, and obviously they'll throw it, but I think the main thing is to stop the run when you're playing a West Virginia football team.
The UCF game is kind of a turning point. Looking at this weekend and then going down and looking at the rest of your schedule, how tough it gets, are you kind of looking at this game in kind of a similar vein?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've done a good job this year of really taking each game in itself, creating that's a season in itself of one game. And, our guys have done a good job of that, and we have to do it especially as you move forward. You certainly can't look ahead with anything in this business. I mean, it's one day at a time, not even really 1 week, it's one day. So how good can we be today? Because, it just becomes overwhelming, I think, when you start looking at the total. when you start looking at all the games we have left and where we have to go and all those type things, that's just becomes too much. So staying in the moment to be the best we can be on Tuesday. And I think you do that every single day, just rinse and repeat every single day. And then the game days will take care of themselves. And that's really what we're focusing on.
Has the marketing department considered the Nip at Noon campaign?
You know what? I don't really talk to our marketing department a whole lot, so I don't know. I don't know what they got going on. But ironically, we were playing a bunch of new games here. I mean, I don't, again, I don't have anything to do with it. So, although we've played well at noon, our guys like it. I think, you get up and you roll your necks out and you go out and play a football game. So I'm excited about it. I've said that before. You go out and play well, then you got the rest of the afternoon to watch some ball. So, it is what it is. We know TV dictates all these times, and now the next game we're playing at 7 or 8. We just announced yesterday, so that would be another night game. So, we're just whatever time they say play ball, hopefully we're ready to play.
You're at 5 wins. Is it important to get bowl eligibility, like that monkey off your back, so that pressure doesn't mount? Because obviously Kansas State and Iowa State on the road are going to be tough, and then close with TCU.
Yeah, I think anytime you can certainly reach that milestone in a season, that's great. That's what we all want. All of us want to be able to play postseason. We want to be able to go somewhere. We want to be able to practice with our guys another 15 practices. You're with your team. There's a lot of things that happen at the end of the season when you go bowling. There are more fun things that happen. So certainly we want to be able to do that. I think more than anything for our guys is the fact that, you go win this game, you're sitting there at 4-2, you're still in the race in the Big 12. There's a lot of football left in the last month. We just saw what happened this past weekend. There's a lot of those games, every team has at least one loss other than BYU. So there's still a lot of ball left to be played in this league. And so I think more than anything, it's just, you go out and handle your business. Now you're just one more notch closer to potentially playing the Big 12 championship. We're still not out of it yet. But again, we're still focusing on one day at a time and certainly trying to go take care of business.
Faced a lot of good running backs. Taj Brooks got his, but he got his on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Harvey, Scadaboo, you did a decent job on. Where does Jaheim White rate in that? Because he got plenty last year.
Man, yeah, he did. Yeah, they're still running from last year right now. We did not slow him down at all. He's an outstanding running back. He's got great speed. Their other back, I think it's Donaldson. He's a big back that runs a little bit different, but also still very talented. Again, it starts up front. Those guys create some nice holes, and then those backs they know how to hit the holes. And so it's a great challenge for our defense to be able to come up and try to stop the run and try to slow it down a little bit. I feel like they're one of the top rushing teams in the country, rushing over 200 yards a game. And I think their offense starts right there. If they get that running game going, then it's going to be a long day for you. So we have to do a great job of getting a lot of hats to the ball, swarming the ball, playing at 100 miles an hour on defense, and really playing fast because, if your first guy misses, then the next guy, if you're playing fast, the next guy's going to be right there. And so, that's the way we have to practice that way this week and have to have that mindset when we go into the game this week.
Was there anything you saw from the film study from Brennan specifically that he could have done different against Colorado? And how did you kind of see him respond after a struggle of a game trying to move forward?
Yeah, first of all, I give Colorado credit. They got some really good DBs and they covered our guys. I think there was probably, we go back and looked at it, there was 3 or 4 routes that we ran where, if he throws it to this particular individual, then it's going to be a completion. And you like to have some of those back. And I think every game there's always a few in that particular game, probably a little bit more because of how good a defense they were playing. You go back and look at it though, but there were 3 or 4 times where we had guys open, we just got to throw and catch. But I think, he came back and had a good practice last week. I thought he was solid with everything that he did. Sunday was really good. The good news is we got another game, so we can go back out this week and hopefully get better at throwing the football and throwing and catching and, being more efficient in that regard.
Virginia there on paper, obviously their wide receiver room, very diverse. Could split the ball out wide with a bunch of others getting involved there. You look at the tight end room, though, Cole Taylor, a guy who's 6'8", 255. What stands out about his game that you guys see on tape so far? Yeah,
well, just extremely long. I think it's one thing, you can be in position, but yet if you don't have the length and the reach to be able to get to him, then he can make some plays. And I think that's what they want to do. They do some things with a lot of shifts and motions and trying to manipulate the defense and getting them out of position. And now they find those ways to run the football, but then all of a sudden you load up to stop the run. Well, now they got some guys out here that can make plays as well, including the tight ends that you mentioned. So they just try to keep the pressure on you in a lot of different aspects and make you be fundamentally sound. And that's where we have to be. We have to line up right. We have to run to the football. Be where we're supposed to be. The games we've played really, really good on defense. We've cut down all our mental mistakes, and we've ran to the football. And I think obviously this is no different when you're playing a team like this, to be able to shut down the run, but also be able to defend that pass.
They won a game in Arizona, then had a lot of weird stuff going on, including switching defensive coordinators. Do you expect anything different? Any expectations out of the new guy?
No, I mean, I think the structure will be the same. It's really hard to go in the middle of a season and just change a lot. And I think, anytime you're making a change like that, just over a period of time, you're going to try to make the guys feel comfortable about whatever you're trying to do, and that's really for them not to make mistakes. And so I think what it does, it makes you, if anything, simplify a little bit more. Now, what could be different is, when you're looking at third down pressures and red zone, those type things could structurally be a little bit different depending on who's calling it. But I think just the structure of the defense, just getting the guys lined up, have them being where they're supposed to be, is the best thing that you can do to help your kids out. And so I would anticipate that. So I don't think there'll be a whole lot of change in what they're doing.
I think you'd agree last year they kind of physically overwhelmed you. Is that something you show the team to kind of challenge them, that say, look, this is a team that they're going to look at the tape and say, hey, we can push these guys around, like we have to respond to it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot that went wrong for us last week. We didn't, last year against West Virginia. Toward the end of the season, we're not playing great, obviously, and we go 3 and out, then they go score. We go 3 and out, then they go score. I mean, it was just a snowball in the first half, and you look up, and man, you're down 28-7 before you can even blink, and we didn't do hardly anything right. And I think certainly as we go back and you watch the film of this week, we look at it on the defensive side. It's a different defense for us. We're not the same. But now offensively we can look at it, obviously, and look and see the things that we did not do well. So it was a bad taste in our mouths for sure. And I think for the guys that did play last year, they understand that feeling. Now we got a lot of guys that were not here as well. So what we try to do is learn off of what the things we did not do well last year against them, and then obviously try to correct that and as we move forward. I mean, it's a different game plan this year, obviously, because that one didn't work. So we got to move forward with a different one, and hopefully. But our guys are in a different state of mind. How we prepare, all the things. It's different, when you look at year to year.
Glad to have Jared Bartlett on your side now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hadn't really talked a lot about it, but with Jared, I mean, he's such a serious-minded individual. Really just focused on his what he has to do in his task. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure inside for him, it's a little something extra probably anytime you're going to play. He knows a lot of those guys over there, but he's not the type to be that kind of guy. I mean, he just wants to play ball and do the best he can. But yeah, we're excited that he's on our team and he's had a great year for us, and he's been a really good leader for us. And he just needs to keep playing like he's been playing and go out and be himself.
Joe Royer had a pretty impressive stiff arm on Travis Hunter. What's it kind of been like to see his combination of the physicality and receiving ability, and were you guys surprised that play wasn't a first down after watching
I
it
was.
back as we were?
Absolutely, I was surprised. Yeah, I mean, but I'm surprised about a lot of things that happen in the course of a game with some of the stuff that goes on. So, but yeah, I mean, it's he's had a really good year, but I think Joe can get better and better and better. Now, one thing he has is exceptional hands. He has some of the best hands in the country. He is a great target for our quarterbacks to be able to throw to, and we feel like if we're throwing to him, we got a great chance of completing it. But what he has shown, too, over the course of this season is the ability to, after the catch, to make people miss, to run through people. He even, hurdled a guy out here one game. Stiff-armed, you talking about that particular play, stiff-armed that player. And so he's a tough guy to tackle. And I think he can get better at that also. But he's still learning. He's learning how to run routes. He's making them crisp, still working on his blocking. So there's a lot of part of his game that I think can get better and better. Now, I still think he's one of the better tight ends in the country, but I do think he can get a lot better. And I think that's the awesome part about it. And I think for him, just to keep going out and working hard to continue to get better and better, the sky's the limit with the way he can play.
The point production in the second half offensively has kind of been continuing theme throughout the season. Some of it is circumstantial. You're playing with the lead or the low possessions. I think there was only 3 possessions against Colorado in the second half. Is there anything you can do to kind of ramp up that mentality in the second half of being able to go get some points and extend leads, hopefully?
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to be able to do that. As we're watching Kansas State against West Virginia, it was a kind of a tight ball game. Then in the fourth quarter, they scored about 2 or 3 touchdowns and really extended it. It made it the score looked a lot worse than the game actually was. But you're right. I mean, some of these games we've had, the score, we were winning. Let's get the clock, melt the clock, and keep the ball. And Arizona State, I think we had a 15-play drive. Ate up a lot of clock, but didn't score. Obviously love to finish it. I think for us, it's really just about finishing those drives in the second half. I like what we're doing. When we do have the lead, to being able to occupy the clock, keep their offense off the field. We just have to finish the drives, and I think whatever that takes. We got to be better once we get down. Maybe you don't we're not as conservative, I think, maybe, because sometimes I tend to think when you get the lead, you're a little bit more conservative. And just maybe think I'll be a little bit more aggressive in those scenarios. But I think obviously the bottom line is just try to get the wins and everything we can do to make that happen. But yeah, you'd love to be able to score some more at the end and where it's not a one possession game, because now anything can happen when that occurs. All right, thanks, guys. All right.
Last couple weeks, you've been a little bit more inconsistent than you were early. Anything you do during the bye week to kind of maybe reset the brain and try to get yourself back on track?
Really just get the body back right. Obviously been banged up. That's no excuse to be inaccurate or whatever like I have been. But just more preparation, just watching film and everything, and just trying to find ways that I can be better, and just especially kind of critiquing my game and just finding ways I can improve there.
Is that a bowl beard that you have going there?
I don't even know what it is. I'm just too lazy to shave right now, so I'm just letting it go, and we'll see what happens.
Is the left hand, the offhand, has that still bothered you some, or is that, do you think that's back to 100%?
I guess I have weak thumbs or something, because both of my thumbs kind of got messed up. So they're both good. Body's feeling good. I think that was a very important bye week for us as a team, just to, kind of reset and, just pay attention to what's in front of us and, get ready to go win 4 games and find a way to do that.
Are you looking for? You have a lot of receivers, but are you looking forward to getting Xavier back going? I mean, granted, an NFL player was on him all last game, but one catch he's certainly better than one catch.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's on me as well. Just I still got to go at him regardless of who's on him. He's a really good player, so we just got to find ways. Like I say every week, we got to find ways to get our guys the ball, and we will.
I asked Coach Sad about Joe's stiff arm against Colorado. He kind of talked about how much better he's been in yards after the catch than he might have expected. What was your impression of that play, and how much better has he been than you might have even expected coming into this season?
Yeah, I was hoping something like that was going to play out, because I knew I had thrown it about 4 yards short of the line. So I was like, he better do something here, because I probably shouldn't be throwing it to him. But, yeah, he made a great play there. And, like Coach Seth said, he's been great all year with the ball in his hands, and he's, similar to all of our other guys. But we just got to find ways to continue to get him the ball.
As Corey goes, you guys go, how important is it to get him going, and do you feel like he'll get going this Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, he's an unbelievable back. Anytime you give the ball to him, you feel good about it, and he's usually going to make 1 or 2 guys miss at least. So, the rest of the season, the rest of the way, and really all season, I felt great about turning around and giving the ball off to him, and he's always gonna do what he needs to do.
What did you see from the film session of maybe a few things you could have done better against Colorado?
Really just giving the guys a chance. Obviously, a couple overthrows and just leaving a couple balls behind the guys and whatnot. But especially in man coverage and stuff like that, you just gotta give your guys a chance.
Your thoughts on the noon kickoff? I mean, you guys are actually pretty good. I think it's 4-1 in noon games, and so.
Yeah, we've got a couple of noon games at home. I'm sure our fans want one at night, and we'll see. We got one more home game, one more opportunity. So, but obviously, I think our team is ready to play whenever, but the noon games are always fun because you just get up in the morning and go right to it. There's not much waiting around or thinking about the game.
Coach said he gave everybody Friday and Saturday off. I assume you didn't make it back to Texas. What do you do with 2 days off? Because that's not something that you ever get.
Really just chill out and hang out and watch some football that's going on. So, it is really nice. Obviously, like you said, I wasn't able to get to go back home, but it's always nice to just get to, just chill out and not have anything for a couple of days and just relax and get the mind off the game for a minute.
Watching those Big 12 games Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, what goes through your mind as you're seeing, the top of the conference kind of get a little topsy-turvy and some upsets happening?
Yeah, I think I've said it a couple of weeks now is that I think we're seeing every week that anybody can beat anybody, and it's just whoever comes out and is executing that day. So I think that if we come in here each week and we execute how we can, I think we'll like what we see, but we just got to come in and do what we do and execute.
You talked to Jared about playing the Mountaineers. Has he made any mention of that?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple people coming. I think he's getting a couple of messages here and there about leaving and whatnot. So, it's fun. I'm sure it's exciting for him to play his old team, and it'll be a good time.
Had the 10:15 Eastern kickoff against Colorado. You guys are going to play a night game against Iowa State. On those days when you're basically waiting the whole day, what kind of person are you? Do you get anxious? Do you just spend the whole day waiting, or do you try to chill yourself out?
I wouldn't say I'm ever anxious. I usually just take a nap sometime throughout the day and then just watch some football. Other than that, nothing too crazy.
West Virginia is a team that is known to get after the quarterback. Sacks or tackles for loss in 26 of the last 29, multiple sacks in 10 of the last 13. What stands out to you about this defense heading into this game on Saturday?
They're a good defense. Obviously, they're going to have a new coach calling the plays. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do. But, they're a talented team, and it'll be a good matchup for us.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Jake, trying to get back on track after a little bit of a rough one at Colorado. How do you kind of refocus the defense and kind of dial in on what you're seeing from West Virginia?
So I think it was great that we had the bye week so that we could take an extra week to get recovered and all that stuff, and then also be able to focus on our new opponent, West Virginia. I think this week it's important for us to focus on stopping the run this week. Against Colorado, we were more focused on the pass and the perimeter. But this week they have two great running backs and a great offensive line. So I think that this week our main goal and objective is to stop the run.
You guys have had to prepare for different quarterbacks before. You even got a surprise at UCF. How do you go into this week when you've got a lefty and a righty and you're not quite sure who it's going to be?
Yes, sir. So both quarterbacks are mobile quarterbacks. So I think right now we're trying to prepare for both. We think that we might be getting number 8, but we're not sure, so we have to be ready for both.
You've been flying around the field, making a lot of tackles all season. How's your body feeling to this point in the year?
I feel great, and this bye week was great for recovery to get all the little banged up and nicks and everything healed up and ready to go. So right now I'm 100% ready to go, ready to play.
Are you doing anything different specifically, or is it kind of a different training program here with Coach Nico that's kind of helping out?
Yeah, definitely. Coach Nico does a great job with the training program, and then also in the training room, taking care of my body, ice bath, hot tub, all that stuff, steam room, and then just doing rehab on all the little injuries that I may or may not have.
Are you getting more press here than you did at Central Arkansas? Did you have to come to the podium there and talk?
100%. I get way more press here than I do at Central Arkansas. I think the most press I got at Central Arkansas was like maybe a little radio show interview after the game. But here it's been nice to be able to get my name out and everything like that.
Coach said he gave you Friday and Saturday off. You don't get many of those through the course of a season. How did you spend your 2 off days?
So I enjoyed it. I actually just relaxed, took the time to relax and watch a lot of football, and then also get away from football a little bit. I went to Kings Island and really enjoyed that. First time going, yes, sir. I did. Yeah, that was the longest line too, but yeah, it was fun.
You look down at West Virginia's running back room there, obviously between Jaheim White and C.J. Donaldson, 2 different kind of style running backs. What stands out to you about those 2 guys?
Yeah, they're 2 really good dynamic running backs. One of them likes to go downhill and is very aggressive getting downhill, is a bigger back, and then the other back is a more dynamic, quick, shifty guy. So you got to be ready for both, and I think that's what we're doing this week.
What would it mean to get this win? All wins are important, but this next win puts you guys in a bowl game somewhere. What would that mean?
This win is definitely important, and every win I think gets more and more important. After every game gets more and more important. This win gets us in a bowl game for sure, yeah, but it's just as important as any other game, I believe. We're not just trying to come in and win this game. I think I know we're trying to win out for the rest of the season.
Coach said you guys have done a pretty good job of taking it one day at a time through this whole season, because if you look at the whole schedule, it can get overwhelming. What have you kind of done maybe with the rest of the team to make sure that you guys don't get overwhelmed by the tough schedule that's coming up in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think it's just staying consistent every single day, just putting one step forward and doing your job each and every day to the best ability and get 1% better every day.
How important, obviously the bye week at this time was important heading into the final 4 games, but you as a player, you look down and see that this conference is kind of still wide open. What are your thoughts there? Obviously, some upsets happened over the weekend, but just your thoughts on the conference as a whole right now.
Yeah, it was great to be able to see Iowa State and Kansas State get their first loss in the conference, and then knowing that we're playing them later on in the season is very encouraging. So that to know that all our goals and aspirations are still there is very encouraging, so that when we keep playing, we have even more to play for.
Keegan here lifts some weights. What can he do to get his neck as thick as yours?
Honestly, I don't know. I get that a lot, that my neck is pretty thick, but I think it comes from playing football, like actually hitting and everything, all the hits. And then also just Coach Nico and his staff does a good job of building up my neck, doing neck exercises to make sure that I'm safe out there.
Run into him a couple times, and we'll see if it gets his neck any bigger. 2 bye weeks. What are your thoughts on that now? I know it's something probably first time really ever going through. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's definitely nice, I would say. I'm definitely not used to 2 bye weeks. Normally I only get 1. But 2 has been nice. Just more time to get prepared for the next opponent and then to have time to recover.
I might have asked you this earlier this season, but when you're learning the linebacker position, who are some NFL guys that you kind of model your game after and try to study?
Yeah, so my favorite player is TJ Watt, because I was originally a defensive end, and he's kind of like your hybrid defensive end outside linebacker position. But then also I like Luke Kuechly a lot. I really take after like how before the ball is even snapped, he knows what's coming. He knows what play is about to happen, and I try to imitate my game after him.
Any other questions for Jay? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.